know when you're ready to get on the shout. Road time, road time, road time. If you feel the vibe flowing and you just can't hold it, let it go up on the roadside. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is the King and I Life podcast, hosted by myself, Soul Toucha the Poet, and my man,
Son Soul Lex,
and our guest,
Miss Sheryl.
There we go. Hit us up on whatever podcast platform that you follow. Hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Patreon. Inbox us, text us, call us, scream at us, smoke signals, whatever. And Son Soul Lex like to tell you to do what?
Hit that email up, man. Hit that KINGANDEYE369 at gmail.com. KingandI369 at gmail.com. Holla at us.
You got something you want to promote out there? Nah, you ain't got nothing? That's cool. But we're going to get back into the conversation, ladies and gentlemen. We talking about where are blacks welcomed? Before we took a break, we was talking about the military. I think we pretty much, dug the back out of that conversation. One thing that's what I wanted to touch on when it comes to that.
Mm-hmm.
When people say that we are not welcome, you're telling us that we don't belong. You got to understand, you can't stunt anybody's desires when it comes to the military or anything for that matter, even if it's the corporate world, because you have to understand, if they're telling us that we're not welcome, if our people are telling us that we're not welcome, now, I think I touched on this before, but I don't remember. But you got to understand, if you're discouraging someone, let's just talk about our people. If our people are discouraging us from going somewhere, wherever it is, and let's just use the military because it's one of those things where it's like, oh, that ain't no place for a black man. That's the white man's army, blah, blah, blah. You got to understand, you are potentially stopping that person, that young black boy, that young black girl from excelling in a place that they feel comfortable in. And if what if that's their last chance? What if that's their last resort of getting out from where they are? And you tell them, hey, that's not for you. We're not welcome there. You got to understand the impact that might have on that child. That child might not be ready for college. That child might not be able to afford college. That child might not have the mindset for college. That child may not want to go to college. And you have to look at, if it's a trade, maybe that child doesn't have money for trade school. You can go to the military, any branch, and get any trade that you want. And another thing that I like to say, a lot of those things that you do in the military translate into college credits. And you can also look at it from the perspective of you're getting job experience. So that's the last thing I want to throw on that one.
For sure. Again, I totally agree with everything that you're saying there, because the way I look at it is like this, right? If you're telling somebody that, you don't belong here, you don't belong there, then evidently there's something in your ass that don't belong there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You might have got in because of your daddy, maybe your mama.
Mm-hmm.
You might not be the damn best material there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But as far as these younger people and these people who actually enjoy being in the military, hey, be all you can be.
Aim high.
Do your thing for sure, man. Again, I think that any branch you go into, again, get in there, learn as much as you can, soak that shit up like a damn sponge, and by the time you get out, if you do the whole 20 or you do just 3 or 5, whatever the case may be, that knowledge that you acquired while you're in there, apply that to your new life that you're about to start, man. And I promise you that will take you far. You just got to apply yourself.
Yeah.
But I also believe, back to what King was saying, that when black people discourage other young black people, it's because they weren't able to get into the military. So because they weren't able to conquer that hurdle, they want to discourage the next person from being all that they can be, as the military would say.
True.
So I believe that when we get into a place where we're discouraging our young people not to succeed, it's because we're stuck in an area where we did not succeed. So that's, I think that it might be an envious thing or a jealous thing. You're going, I couldn't go, so because I couldn't get there, I don't want to see you get there and succeed and be better than me. You find that a lot of black people will put down a lot of black people, that crab mentality, because they're not where they thought they would be or where they should be. So they're going to do what they can or say what they can to discourage that other black person from going to the next level.
I
So
totally agree with
let
you.
me throw this question out to y'all. Why?
All right.
Because this is like a common thing. Do you, when it comes to where are we welcome, do you think in these times, from where we sit, specifically from where we sit, not where somebody way above our level sits, from our levels, do you think it's more of our people saying that we're not welcome somewhere, or do you think it's you know others who say that we're not welcome?
I think it's our people. Because if other people see our people working against us, guess what they're going to do? They're going to work against us as well. We influence each other.
Mm-hmm.
That's how that's how life works. So if we are supporting our black people and we're welcoming our black people, then the other people have no choice but to welcome us because they're seeing us work together and in unity. But when they don't see that unity, then that gives them ammunition to fire against us.
I agree with that. I will say this though. There are gatekeepers
Yeah.
within our community.
Yes.
Let's not disregard that. There are some freaking gatekeepers. Um, I look at the system that we're in now. Take for instance the DMV. I
Mm-hmm.
remember a time when you could go in DMV. You'd be lucky if you saw one or two of us. Now it's damn near the opposite. There's maybe a different culture, but for the most part, you have to go through so much just to get a simple tag. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, and I'm not saying any specific office, but let's be real about it. There are times when you go into the damn DMV and you got everything you need, but they'll still make you go back and get that one or two more things. But I kind of look at that as, again, the gatekeepers. Like, I'm not gonna make this situation too easy on you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like those people are deliberately put in place because in their mind they feel like they got power over the
Mm-hmm.
general public and especially us.
Mm.
So they fail to realize that you were deliberately put in place by a different set of people.
Right.
So there's different levels to this shit, as they say.
Yeah.
So when I find people in those type of positions that make it more difficult for us and anyone in general, than what it has to be, then I just think that um, again, you don't realize that you are a small fish in a big ass pond. Like, why go out of your way to be even harsher to your own kind than different kinds?
Yeah. I think it's that is a good part of the issue there, and I also think a lot of us, our people, walk around with a false sense of entitlement, and because they have a false sense of entitlement, that increases their ignorance and lowers their uh, ability to operate in certain situations logically. And to me, that kind of puts a bigger bullseye on some of our people, and they are looked at as, oh, you don't need to be here because the way that you didn't take the time to prepare and educate yourself and how to navigate through this, that, and the other.
Right.
So you may walk in a way, you may talk in a way, you could probably say 3 or 4 words, and this person in their mind says, I'm gonna make it hard for this person. So I mean, it's a it's a crazy dynamic.
It is.
But I think the more that we operate in a manner where we command respect, not demand it, we command respect, will be more respected. And you may not welcome us there, regardless who's keeping us out. You may not welcome us there, but there is no way that you can keep me from there because I've come correct and I've come 3 levels higher than what you can ever reach.
True that.
I think that if we can come together as a community, and we all together, if we can come together, um, we can put those in a position where they don't feel welcome.
Yeah.
Because if we can come together in unity, we can show them that, hey, that we can make y'all feel the way that y'all make us feel. And if we can make y'all feel the way that y'all make us feel, then maybe you would change your outlook on how y'all look at us, how y'all treat us, and the benefits that y'all do not want to give us. Because we don't get I believe, even in corporate America, we don't get the same as the white man get. We don't get that same that same benefit, that same pay, that same welcome. We don't get. But if we can unify, we can turn some things around. We can change some things. But it's getting us to unify. And, you see all these Asians and Mexicans, they work together to make a dream work.
Yes.
They work together. They live 20 people in one house. We can't even live 3 people in one house.
Look, and because you brought that up, that is something that we have said on this podcast several times. It's called group economics and group building and all of that. Like, yeah. But then, while we're talking about where blacks welcome, as a black woman, how has that affected you? Have you been in places where, like, it's not only you're black, but as a black woman, did you feel in some of the places where you worked or whatever, that you weren't welcome? Like, did you get the eyeballs on you or the attitudes or whatever the case may be?
I've only experienced that in the black area.
Whoa.
I grew up white privileged. I grew up, my dad was chief of the fire department. So I grew up in that white rural area. So I didn't get that look from them, but I got it from our people. Because they had to act, you bougie, you think you all that. No, I'm not. I'm just a child that grew up in a privileged household. So my neighbors were white. You might see a couple black people here and there, but I grew up in that white area. So I didn't get that. So I'm one of them spoiled kids. I'm one of them white privileged children.
Wow. That's interesting.
It is. Yeah. It is very interesting.
That makes you think.
It does.
So that's the only time that you really experienced it. You never experienced it as an adult in the workplace or anything like that?
As an adult in the workplace, I have not, because of the way that I carry myself. You're not gonna mishandle me or mistreat me. And so I have not experienced that in the workspace. No.
Well, that's good that you haven't experienced that in the workplace, because that's crazy.
Because I report you. I'm not that kind of person that you can.
Oh, that's right.
That you can come up against racially or just by me being a woman, because I know my stuff. And because I know my stuff, I know where to go, who to go to, which strings I can pull, and then because of who I am today, and the areas that I operate, in the state and in the city, there's not much that you can really do to me that's gonna make me feel like I'm not welcome, because I have power behind me.
That's what's up. So let's jump and talk about other countries. Because I think the overall consensus, my personal experience is I've never had, not that I've had too many bad issues here home in America where I was born and bred,
Hmm.
but I think living abroad, we are more welcome, more appreciated, more respected, and all that stuff. Because, like, we went to school in Germany. I was in Germany from 87 to 91. Um, at no time did I have an experience with any Germans to where they was like, go back to America, or you don't belong here, or this, that, and the other. But, here in America, why don't you go back to Africa? It's like, I've never been to Africa. So what are you talking about? But, when you look at that contrast from being abroad and being home, they're telling you to go back to somewhere where you've never been. But over there, I'm not being told to go back to where I'm from. Um, I've traveled to Russia. I've traveled to Spain. I've been to England. I've been to Qatar. I can't count Iraq because that was deployment. I've been to Costa Rica, and I've never experienced not being welcomed in those environments.
Um, I've been to quite a few countries, and I'll say my experiences always were I was welcome.
Mm-hmm.
Like I never, like you, I never had anyone, tell me go back to your own country. uh, if anything, uh, when I was able to actually talk and hold a conversation with some, that um, I was getting to know, their sentiments were more like they hated our country, or there are certain things about our country that they didn't like.
Mm-hmm.
But it was never about us. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? They never said, we don't like melanated people or people of color from your country. It's always about your country. And,
Right.
evidently, as we all know, we do not run this motherfucker. But it was always that. And again, like you, I always got respect wherever I went. And again, it could be because I how I carry myself, but then again, it could be because they look at me like y'all are cool. Y'all culture
Mm-hmm.
go everywhere, but y'all country, that's
Everywhere.
the thing that we have a problem with.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I just think that with the way the world is now, um, it's been a while since I've been out of the country. Maybe about 2 years or so. So I can't really speak on what it is like now, but
Mm-hmm.
as far as like back then, I got number love everywhere I went. Like,
Right. Mm. What about you?
I've never been out the country.
Oh wow.
I had the opportunity, but I did not. I did not. I
Mm.
did not. I've never been out the country.
Mm. You know what? And then we have to look at this aspect of this part of the conversation. We're talking about us as Americans. We're not. We haven't even looked at uh, blacks in other countries who come from, let's say, Africa,
right.
or from the Caribbean, who go over to these places. Um, I've known a couple of people uh, from, like, I have a friend who's she lives in England. Her parents are from, gosh, I want to say Jamaica, but I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I haven't never heard her speak too much of the struggles that her family has had over there. Um, so I really don't know. I know in the news it's, for, period of times, there have been news reports of where blacks were treated bad. They had blackface going on. I think it was in the Netherlands or somewhere like that. Um, but I think it's a foreign concept to us because um, we're not privy to the everyday life of those countries, whereas they're privy to damn near everything that goes on here.
Right.
Um,
Hmm.
our news channels are all over the world. Their news channels are not all over the United States. So I guess that I think I'm a one day I'm gonna take some time to look into that and probably revisit that because that would be an interesting thing to talk about.
Yeah. I will say one country I was in. I won't say what country it is. I don't want to offend anyone, but um, we were there for probably about a good 3 or 4 days. Beautiful country. Say, how can I put it? It's a free country. I put it to you like that. But
Hmm.
anyway, I noticed that there was so much American influence, meaning, our influence, you
Hmm.
know, when it comes down to music and, hip hop culture and all that. We were just every goddamn where. And I thought to
Mhm.
myself, it was such a shame though,
Mm.
because I'm like, this is a great country within itself. Why are you more or less uh, allowing yourself to be influenced by our country? You should be taking more pride and displaying more about your own country than any other
Hmm.
country. Um, I just thought it was a real shame in myself. I mean, like, it's cool that our culture is spread around the world like that, but how great is your country if you start losing the things that made your country great?
Mm.
So,
All right.
Some folks might not think that their country is great because they live there.
True.
So they're trying to
yeah,
pull in their own culture. They're trying to be multicultural because they can't get to where they really want to be because they don't want to be where they're at.
Mm.
it's a good way
That's
of
an
thinking at
interesting
it.
point.
Yeah, definitely. I
That's an
never
interesting
thought about it
point
like that.
because a lot of people leave their countries to come here,
Hmm.
um, and a lot of us try to go to their countries and live
Trying
there.
to go there.
Yeah, that is true.
So yeah, I mean, I guess I guess it takes really to know what they go through on a day to day basis, where their mindset is, where they are economically, and all of that, to fully grasp that whole thing.
Right.
Um, yeah, I mean, because you know, again, when I went to Costa Rica, you know, there was a lot of Americans down there.
Hmm.
Um, there was a lot of Black Americans down there, open up restaurants and all this, that, and the other. Like you look at their menu, and they got soul food on the menu, they got buffalo wings on the menu, they got all these American items on the menu, and I'm sitting there like, are you serious right now? You came down here and Americanized this little area, and it's like interesting,
Hmm.
and they living it up. But it's like,
Right.
and a lot of them be like, I ain't never going back to America. I'll go back to renew my passport, this, that, and the other, go to vacation in America, but I'm here. And I'm like, wow, that's amazing.
That is pretty cool. Can't lie.
I don't have the balls to do it.
I would definitely do it if my circumstances were different. I mean, me and my wife, we talked about living abroad, um, and we still may do it. I don't know, but as of right now, I can't say it's going to be in the immediate future. But
I would
if I
love to
had the
live
chance,
abroad.
hell,
Mm.
freaking yeah, I would do
Yeah, I think if I'd have stayed active duty, I'd have been abroad
But
all the
you
time. But
it.
yeah, when them jokers look, I got orders to go to Korea in '94, and I had to go down there and sign my orders. I looked that woman in her face. I said, I don't want to go. She was like, huh? I was like, I don't want to go. She was like, oh, well, you can sign this paper and you don't have to go. But if it come back again, you got to go. This is a one-time thing to turn it down. I'm like, let me sign that paper right there. But I think I should have took my ass abroad. But that's that, and that's that thing. Don't tell me I'm not welcome in the military, because if I'm not there or a military dependent, I'm not gonna be able to see the world as easily.
True. So true. Again, I've been to many different countries. And again, I never experienced where somebody made me feel uncomfortable because of my complexion. If anything, I think I got more love because of my complexion than
Right.
other. Americans of different complexions.
They love us in many, many of those countries.
Mm-hmm.
They wait for us to come.
Especially in Germany, boy.
They wait.
Yeah, Germany was it.
They like chocolate.
Boy, we are like a precious metal.
Yeah.
But I guess that answered the question. Do blacks face stigma more for being black or American? When it comes to other countries, I think we face more stigma for being American than being black.
Yeah, hell yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. So
should we look into leaving our families and old ways of life behind to start something anew?
My thoughts on that is, leaning more towards no. And I say that because if we leave people behind, that's kind of what Miss Sheryl was saying about the crabs in the bucket. That's kind of like, I'm gonna step on all y'all to get up out of here, and I'm gonna leave y'all back there. And then my other thought process to that is, you can't really have new without the old. You need the old for the foundation. You just have to keep building upon it. Just like, like hell, if you look at the average car, for instance, you had solid rubber spoke wheels, a steam engine that you had to get out and crank, and all these other things. You didn't have AC. Cars back then didn't have roofs and windows that you could roll up, but it's the same general concept. It's just that it's been built upon so many times that you have what we have today. Your car is pretty much a whole computer. So I can't say leave our families and old ways of life behind, because you still need parts of those old ways to refine whatever it is you plan on doing, whatever direction you plan on going.
Right. Your thoughts, Ms. Sheryl?
I agree with King. I don't believe that we should leave our family behind. Our family is who created us, and they're the reason why we are who we are to this very day. Now, some of our old ways, some of my old ways, I don't ever want to revisit. But they were a stepping stone to who I am now. So between your family and your old ways, that's that, as King was saying, that's that foundation. That's that sturdy foundation that was laid, that you build upon to make things in your life better. So as long as you're taking your family and those old ways, combining them together to make things greater, better, and you're getting wiser at the same time, then yes, I believe that you should take your family with you, no matter how the good, the bad, and the ugly, because the good, the bad, and the ugly create what you really need in life, and that's stability.
Definitely. I'll say I agree with that, and I will add that for me, whether you choose to stay within this country for whatever reason, that's cool, that's great, because again, your foundation is here. But on the flip side of that, I would say, if you do choose to move to abroad and start a new life somewhere else, I think that's great too. And the reason I say that is because no matter where you go, no matter what you do, your ancestors are always going to be with you. You take their DNA with you wherever you go. Now, you can't always take the materialistic things that, that might necessarily be here in this country, but you can always take those traditions with you. And again, those real personal things, you can ship them abroad. They help, align you with your past and connect you with your past. I think that if you move abroad and you're happy there and you feel you belong there, then be there. You know what I'm saying? Don't feel any pressure or any kind of ways that says, well, I should really go back to the land that I was born in, because the truth of the matter is, as Moorish people, we from freaking everywhere, son. I don't give a
Mhm.
damn what four corners of the earth you are at. We have been there. We have made our tracks there, despite what some may tell us. Um, but again, the main thing about it is with technology, we like we're talking right now, you get to talk to your family like that, every day if you wanted to.
Mhm.
Um, so it's one of those things, as long as you keep in touch with your family, you know, try to keep that connection going, come back and visit when you can. Um, I think that's great. But I wouldn't feel any kind of way if any members of my family were like, you know what, I want to live abroad and I don't think I'm coming back. I'm like, hey, more power to you, bro. For real.
Mhm.
Just don't forget where you came from. That's about the best advice I could give them at that point.
But my question would be, if you're running to live abroad, are you running to something or are you running from something? Because if you're willing to leave your family behind and your old ways behind, what are you running from?
I don't necessarily think in a lot of cases it's always running from something. I just think that people have the mindset of, I want to try something new. I don't want to stick to my block when,
Mhm.
there's a whole country out there,
To move to a different
metaphorically
state, why
speaking.
move across the whole entire country to get away from your old ways and your family?
But it's not necessarily getting away from them. It's you want to experience something new. So it's kind of like, family is family. True enough, you're always gonna love your family, but again, you just want to try something new. You want to experience different things. You want to build a new life for yourself for whatever reason. Maybe you and your family don't exactly get along. Maybe you don't like the part of the country that you're from. So you're like, I could just move to a different part of this country, but why should I limit myself? When there's a whole big world out there. And again, just because you moved, abroad, that don't mean that you always gotta stay there. Again, you can
Mhm.
come back and visit. You can come back, or you can stay abroad for so many years, and then like, you know what? I love this place, but there's no place like home. So
Mhm.
you might decide to move back.
That's just me as a person. There's no way I could pick up and move abroad and leave my children. Like, there's just no way. And I've thought about it,
Uh,
really have, but there's just for me, I couldn't.
I
Yeah.
understand.
I can see it from both of y'all perspectives. When I originally was answering it, I was more so looking at like leaving old ways. Period.
Hmm.
Now, it when how you was explaining it, and how Miss Cheryl was responding to it, from her perspective, um, to a degree, you just can't leave your family behind, but at
Right.
the same time, you just can't take everybody with you.
Right.
You sure
Um,
can. That's a
and
fact.
you know, yeah, it'd be cool to move to another state, experience that, because a lot of people don't experience this entire country. Um, a lot of parts of this country are not for us, and I don't mean racially.
Right.
Like, I would never move to Alaska; it's too damn cold. I would never move to California; it's too damn hot. Too many earthquakes, too many raging fires. Um, I would never move to a place like Montana, Idaho, or Iowa. I just think that's too far from civilization to me.
Hmm.
Um, so it's like, if I was to move to another state, more than likely it would be somewhere on the East Coast where I know I can get to everything that I want to get to.
Right.
Um, Now, if I had the opportunity to live abroad, I already have it in my brain. There's only a certain amount of people that's coming with me, and those are the people that I'm building or maintaining a future with. Uh,
Right.
we're going to have a life. Now, let's just say I had a elderly relative that was living with me at the time.
Hmm.
If they were well enough to travel and stay abroad, then yes. Then you open up that other can of worms. Well, I want to live abroad. This person is depending on me for their life. Can I comfortably in my brain and in my heart say, you know what? I got to leave you behind and dump you off on somebody else because I want to live abroad. I think that's the other thing that we have to look at when it comes to that. But thankfully, I don't have that situation going on.
Right.
I don't anticipate that having that situation coming about, because if I had a sickly relative like that, that would be something that I would have to really, really, really sit down and really think about. Hey, I want to start something new. I got to live my life. I've been stuck, blah, blah, blah. But what am I going to do with auntie, grandma, or whoever is dependent on me? Mm-hmm. So in that aspect, it's kind of not fair to leave your family behind. But then again, look, I'm going to give you enough time to let you know in 3, 4, 5 years, I'm out of here. So in that time, I've made you aware, you better prep yourself for it. We got to prep you or whatever, because at the last minute, I don't want to hear no guilt trips about this, that, and the other, because I'm not doing it.
Manipulation.
Yeah, I'm not doing it. I gotta go. So in that aspect, I definitely get what you're saying. It's not about running away or this, that, and the other, but it could be to get away. And as Ms. Sheryl was saying, I don't think I could leave my kids behind either. Not now. Let me backtrack a little bit. Mm-hmm. Now, if your ass is grown, we got nothing. You got nothing coming. Nothing coming. Because at that point, you are not under my roof. You're living your life. Now, if you are underage, let's just say up to the age of 16 years old, 17 years old, I'm going to put it this way. If you ain't a high school senior, you're coming with me. If you are a high school senior, you know what? If I know you good, I'm out of here. But then when it comes down to it, I really have to adjust and think about it at that time.
But you're still responsible for that high school senior, so you really can't leave them.
Yeah, and that's why I say I would have to, if it came down to it at that time, I have to sit down and really think about it.
Yeah, I definitely get that. I think about myself in the situation I'm in now, right? My father, we've had that conversation, where I told him where I was thinking about moving abroad. And he was like, man, do your thing. Like, I've lived my life and I'm continuing to live my life. And I'm good. So if you ever chose to, go abroad, then, don't let me be a factor as far as holding you back.
Right.
So I can appreciate that about him. But if the shoe was on the other foot, where maybe I was older and my son was telling me he wanted to go, abroad, I would probably take that same stance as my father, as, just put me somewhere where I know I'm going to be taken care of. Whether that be not just a nursing home, but a good nursing home, where they don't beat your ass when you
breakfast nursing home.
Yeah.
A brothel nursing home.
But I would definitely encourage them, man, live your life. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I've led mine. I'm pretty sure at that point I could fully say that. I did everything that I wanted to do in life. So I couldn't see me saying, no, don't go, because I need you to take care of me. No, You know, I did what I wanted to do. I led my life. This is where I'm at in my life. Do your thing.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, man.
For sure.
Yeah.
But once again, we want to thank everybody for tuning in to the King and I Life podcast. We love having these type of discussions. Um, Again, we want people thinking, feeling, and experiencing new things. And again, you guys can always hit us up on that KINGANDEYE 369 at gmail.com and voice your opinion. Like I said,
Oh, yeah.
it's a fact. Me and King both have said it. You want to come on the show? Let us know.
Let us know.
We
We'll
love
get
to
you
have
on there. If you got a topic for us, drop it in that email, text us, inbox us, something. Give us the
For
topic,
sure.
a few talking points, and we'll build on it. But other than that, hit us on that Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Patreon. Go ahead and subscribe, like, share, all that good stuff. Again, the lives are on Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. We got some dope topics coming up, some dope people joining us. Thanks to Miss Sheryl for joining us in this conversation
Definitely.
tonight.
Thank you, Miss Cheryl.
Much appreciated.
Thank y'all for having me.
For
Yes,
sure.
hope you come back.
Definitely.
Absolutely, anytime.
Oh yeah, that's what's up. But outside of that, hey, it's the King and I Life podcast, and we gonna rock out to Miss Breezy real quick.
For sure. Y'all make sure y'all check my girl out. She doing that thing. Breezy.
Hey, I gotta hit her up because we might be cousins and shit.
What?
Yeah, one of my aunts hit me up and was throwing some names at me, so I got to get at her and check and see. I might be related to a star.
Damn it. That would be so dope.
But yeah, we out.
Peace.
Good shit.
For sure.